Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Spoon and rice, you know, this is really, as I've said, the most authentic place to come for Filipino street food, spoon and rice. Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to another exciting episode of Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlon, and of course, once again, I'm joined by my co-host Joshua Debatos. Hi, Josh. Where are you today?
Hey Mal, still here in Cebu, Philippines. Today, the 13th of June, post the Independence Day. Here in the Philippines, such a great way to start the show with a very awesome talent such as Gea singing our Philippine national anthem. It's a great week here. I'm doing good. How about you, Mal?
I'm absolutely fine. And you know what? I had an awesome Philippine Independence Day. I went to the Tura Tura Filipino barbecue street food restaurant, which was in a place called Hamilton Brewery. And it was great. You know, I had some amazing food. You know, I'm all for promoting small Philippine businesses and ventures. As you know, one of our main partners is Spoon and Rice, which I'm so looking forward to trying soon. Not only that, today is the Euros competition, the Euro football competition. And right now, England are playing. And of course, Spoon and Rice, being that they're in Box Park, Wembley, are actually kind of you have to have a ticket to get to the England game to be able to go there today. So they're very much part of that. So I also want to give a shout out to Spoon and Rice to thank you for your continued sponsorship. But I'm going to really start to focus on Philippine businesses and maybe visiting Philippine businesses. So I know next weekend I'm really going to make an effort to visit the guys down at Spoon and Rice and try some of their delicious foods.
Wow, that's another post that's to look forward to, Mal.
Exactly. And of course, I'd like to thank Gaya Misha. I saw her recent rendition of the Philippine national anthem, which she released yesterday, and she kindly gave us permission to use it at the top of our show. You know, I'm really thankful to Gaya. She's a really upcoming talent. I know she has a show on June the 27th, her first virtual concert, and I really do support her because I think she's really going places. And of course, thank you to Gaya's family for allowing us to use her rendition of the Philippine national anthem. What a good way to start our show.
Yeah, a very talented young lady, and having her birthday concert on the 27th, something I also am very excited to. For sure, a lot of our audiences who are tuned in today will definitely watch that concert, Mal.
Exactly. And I'd like to say hi to Gays Angels as well. Thanks so much for kind of being there. You know, as you know, Josh, my heart has always been to support Filipino talents, the Filipino community, and of course, everything about the Philippines. And when I see people who are promoting the country or displaying the flag, wearing the flag or whatsoever, you know, some people could say about the heraldic code, but as long as you do it with the right intentions, I don't think there's anything wrong in promoting the country that you love.
Definitely, and we really appreciate that on behalf of the millions of Filipinos. Thank you, Mal, and also a lot of other different nationalities who are really standing by the Filipino flag as well.
Exactly. I just saw the flag that you have that on your background today, which is pretty awesome.
I thought of putting it up because of the Independence Day celebration we just had yesterday, and a lot of us in the Philippines celebrated it, and that's with so much pride that we are celebrating our Independence Day here.
Exactly. Also, I'd like to also pay tribute, of course, to, you have a bit of feedback. Yeah, hello. Yeah, I'd also like to pay tribute to His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales. I don't know if you saw his message where he was thankful for Filipino nurses, and he spoke about the many healthcare workers, including healthcare assistants, all the healthcare workers who've come from the Philippines to go around the world and, of course, to come to the UK, and he showed his appreciation. So I'd like to thank His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales for, of course, showing your appreciation to the wonderful, talented Filipino nurses that we have.
Yep, that's really good. And I have a lot of friends. I feel that there's an exodus of Filipino nurses going to the UK. I'm seeing them on their Facebook Live, and then they're my stories, and there's a lot of them going to the UK. So good to see the appreciation. Thank you so much to the Prince of Wales.
Well, that's also quite interesting because the Duke of Edinburgh, who's very sadly passed away now, but His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, I think it was about a decade ago, where he was visiting a hospital, and he spoke quite cheekily to a Filipino nurse, and he kind of said, well, there must be no nurses in the Philippines because you're all here. So it's quite funny that he recognized that kind of situation more than a decade ago. And of course, now his son, the Prince of Wales, has gone on to highlight that. So before we start, we'll probably do that now. So before we start today, I'm really excited once again to bring you a special shout out or a special greeting from one of the rising upcoming Kapamilya artists in the Philippines, who's soon to have a teleseries, very much involved in different projects. He was in a film called Dead Kids, which was a really good film that was on Netflix, and of course some other shows as well. So without much further ado, I'd like to introduce our next greeting, if you like, from the Kapamilya artist, Marcus Patterson.
Hey everyone, be sure to watch Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlon, a close friend of mine, and I'm sure this show is going to be great. I can't wait to guest on it myself, so be sure to watch and subscribe, and always like every video and hit the bell notification so you guys don't miss a video. Peace out.
Thanks so much to Marcos. It's really cool that he's really made that effort, right? You're on mute.
There you go. Yeah, don't
There you
forget
go.
to click that subscribe button, as what Marcus said. Watch and subscribe. Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. And while this is going to be an exciting episode today, because we will have in the show three beautiful and very interesting Filipinas who will be sharing some good things that's happening as well, not just in the music industry, but also in the pageantry in the UK. Am I right?
Completely right. I'm sure they'll go on and explain, but of course, the pageant is very, very important in Philippine culture. From Miss World Megan Young, more than 7 years ago, it was great to see the Philippines really represented. And then, of course, in other competitions as well. I've had the privilege of being a judge of Miss Philippines UK and other Philippine pageants, including Mrs Philippines, where I flew up to Glasgow, Scotland, quite a few years ago. And I think the point here, some people say that pageants are dated, but I would disagree. I think they give women confidence. I think they help them to support charities, to be good role models and almost ambassadors for women. And I think these pageants actually do that. And of course, not only that, there are men in the pageants as well. So a lot of these competitions have their male counterparts. And I know that a lot of these pageants actually help people in the world of modeling, in confidence, and so many other things. And Josh, I'm sure you would agree.
Yep, definitely. It's giving them empowerment, not just women empowerment, but empowerment to strongly be confident in themselves, and that's really good to really boost the confidence in different genders, male, female, from different pageantry, and also in celebration with Pride Month, we also have a lot of pageantries to support our LGBTQ community as well.
Which is also very, very important. In fact, I was one of the judges before, I think, of Miss Transgender a few years ago. And I think that's also important. I think we should celebrate the Philippines, celebrate Philippine culture, and people should be able to be who they are. This is something I feel very, very strongly about. And I know that you're aware of that.
Yeah, and I actually I'm very curious to know how many pageantries or Filipino related pageantries you've attended in the UK, Mal, because you've been very supportive of that. Do you still have a count? Can you remember like how many you've judged already?
I would have said probably about 7 or 8, but I know I've gone to a few others. But it's something I've always been involved with. It's something that I've always been passionate about, of course, because it's promoting the country, promoting the people, and of course, particularly for young people, it's giving them confidence. It's actually helping them in their careers. A lot of the pageant winners, like Keisha, of course, is a successful model, and I think that's awesome, But not only that, it helps them to do charity work, to visit the Philippines, to re-identify with the culture. So although some would argue about the relevance of pageants, as far as I'm concerned, it's very much part of Philippine culture. Without much further ado, I'd like to introduce our first guest, Julie Knowles, who we're now going to bring on to the show as well. And I'm sure she's been listening to all of our comments. And if you could introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself, that would be absolutely awesome. So, Julie, hi, welcome to Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Condon from myself and Josh. I think you're on mute. We need to unmute you.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. How you
Good
doing?
afternoon. Yes, I'm
Julie?
Julie Knowles. I'm the chairman of Philippines Eurasia. Philippines Eurasia is a two-divisional beauty pageant in UK and Europe, and the event will be on July 31st, 2021 at the Lancaster Grand Theatre.
That's awesome. And you've probably heard my comments regarding pageants and the importance that they play. And I'm sure you would agree. I believe pageants play such an important role as well.
Yes. Well, over the years, it's no longer about the crown. more and more women have joined beauty pageants to raise awareness and to inspire more people or other women in particular, to do more in society, to do good in society, to do good deeds in society.
I think that's so important. You're also a busy mum, I can see as well, which is absolutely, which is absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
Whereabouts
I
are you? So we know
I
you're in London,
actually
right?
you're taking care of my son because my 20-year-old daughter is actually in the hospital
Oh,
since
bless.
last week, and so I just thought I'll have the interview here at the Royal King's Arms because it's like the middle way going to the hospital, so I have to rush to the hospital after here because my daughter wanted to eat something like hot food. So I'm fine. I'm used to being busy as well, so I'll be fine.
Mm. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Josh, over to you. I really want to send my best wishes to Julie's daughter as well.
Yeah, sorry to hear about your daughter, and I hope she recuperate really soon. And I'm pretty sure she will. And I understand that you're in between the task of being a mother and as well as promoting the pageant. If you can tell us more uh, about this pageant that you have formed, tell us about the history and when it started, Julie.
Yes. Philippines Eurasia is co-organized by Z Stanton, who is from United Kingdom, and another good friend, Sweetheart Hansen, who is from Denmark. So both of them don't know each other. I'm their common friend, so I
Mm-hmm.
invited both ladies to co-organize Philippines Eurasia with me. Well, we started early, oh no, late 2019, and we brainstormed what the title would be, and then so we thought that we should put the word Philippines because we are Filipinos, and there is Euro because it's like a beauty pageant for the whole of Europe. So we actually have candidates from outside UK as well. So and then Asia because yes, Philippines is from the continent of Asia. And then we started recruiting ladies. That was late 2019, and then we launched the first batch of
Mm-hmm.
candidates on the 1st of December 2019. But unfortunately, pandemic hits the whole world. So our the first date was actually July 4th, 2020, and we have to postpone it, I think, 5 times until we have the date July 31, 2021, and we are really hoping that we can finally hold this much awaited beauty pageant. And this beauty pageant, I can proudly say that it's advocacy centric because we just
Mm-hmm.
don't focus on the physical beauty of a lady, but we also wanted them to actually have their own charity or advocacy, so it gives more substance in their journey in this beauty pageant.
Sounds interesting. We can talk more about the advocacies that each of the candidates would be supporting. And I know that it's been suspenseful for the past more than 1 year since you were supposed to start last year and got delayed and postponed,
Yeah.
and having another date, and hopefully no more changes to the
Delays.
future date, no more further delays. And a
Yeah.
lot of Filipinos probably are not aware about what the Mrs. Philippines Eurasia is about, and it's good to know for those who are tuned in today that we have a representation of the pageant in the UK. Has it always been for Mrs. like the plan? Is it always has it always been planned for the Mrs. Philippines, or have you also thought of having a pageant for Miss Philippines, the single ladies?
Actually, Josh, we have launched the search for the first ever Miss Philippines Eurasia International. But this beauty pageant involves different young Filipinos from 17 to 27 around the world. So anyone could represent, say, for example, from Germany, from the Philippines, USA. So we actually already have that. And the grand coronation will be on September 12, 2021. But this event is a virtual beauty pageant because of the pandemic. and because it involves different countries, so it would be difficult to like to hold them all together in one country as of the moment. So yes, we actually have the miss as well, other than the misses.
Nice.
That, that's really interesting to hear. It really, really is. And I'd like to congratulate you and I'd like to thank you very much for what you're doing, of course, for all of us. And of course, this is going to help charities in the Philippines, which is something very close to my heart. So I hope to see you in July. And in the meantime, can you remind people about how they can attend, etc.?
Yes, if you want to watch the first ever Mrs. Philippines Eurasia beauty pageant on July 31st, 2021, at the Lancaster Grand Theatre in Lancaster, United Kingdom, you can book your tickets at the website of Lancaster Grand Theatre. And well, I would be happy to assist if you struggle to book. Just give me or drop a message on my Facebook and say that you really want to watch and you want me to buy the ticket. I could happily assist as well.
How can they get to the venue? And can you tell us a little bit more about the venue, please, before you go?
Yes. Um, Well, Lancaster is really like a lovely, quaint, just a small city in the northwest of England. So, from coming from London, you get into London Euston railway station, and then it's like a two hour more or less train trip or travel to Lancaster. And when you arrive in Lancaster, everything is just a walking distance. There are so many events that will be held in this Royal King's Arms Hotel, which is just a 5 minute walk from the train station, and then the theater is also just like it's a straightforward walk from the train station, maybe around 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on how fast or how slow you walk, because the venue is just at the heart of Lancaster.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah,
I'd
it
like to
is.
thank you very much. And I know you're going to go and visit your daughter now in the hospital. Please send our best wishes. Thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break right now. And when we
Yes.
come back, we'll be meeting some of the candidates. Thank you so much.
Yes. Send me your address, Malcolm, and I'll send you a printed copy or of our official invitation within this week because it's about to be ready from the
That's
printing
very
shop.
kind of you. I'll put it in my diary. It'd be lovely to see you there. I have gone to
Yeah.
Glasgow before for a pageant. I've gone to other parts of the country. So very
Yeah.
much, I support what you're doing. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Malcolm, and I hope to
Thanks.
see you and Joshua in Lancaster.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Spoon and rice, this is really, as I've said, the most authentic place to come for Filipino street food. Spoon and rice.
And we are back, Mal.
Thanks, Josh. So what do we have to look forward to now?
Yeah, we actually have a very interesting opener of the conversation through Julie, who is the organizer or the founder of that of the Philippines Eurasia. And now we will get to know more about this pageant and what to expect from some of the contestants who will be joining in the pageant. So with no further ado, let's welcome CJ, and we have CJ and Julie as well.
Julie.
Sorry, we had a slight technical problem, but it's awesome to see you both. Thank you so much. That's awesome. If you go ahead and introduce yourself. We've had a few last-minute changes. When we originally did the show, we was going to have somebody else onto the show, but due to a technical issue and due to some last-minute changes, we've had to kind of go on the hop, if you like. But please go ahead and introduce yourself. CJ, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Cecil Joy Little, but you can all call me CJ. I am originally from Baguio City, and I am representing Benguet for Mrs. Philippines Eurasia.
That's absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. And of course, we look forward to having Jelena with us as well. That's absolutely awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to us?
Hi, everyone. This is Julina Lopez here. I am representing the town of Taguig in the Philippines.
Wow, Taguig. I've been to Taguig. I had an amazing opportunity when Freddie Tinger was mayor there. I got to meet him. We went ahead. We had a coffee together. He took me round, and then not only that, he brought me to the Mint School, which is a really inspiring academy for like future actors, singers, and I met Pinky Amador as well, who's very much involved in that project. So, you know, I'd just like to pay tribute to everyone in Taguig. It's really an amazing city. I absolutely love when I visit there, and I'm sure you love Taguig too.
Thank you so much for that, Malcolm.
You know, yeah, same. And it was so awesome. And I still contact Freddie on LinkedIn as well. We're still in touch. So of course, and then we've got others from the city as well we've spoken to in the past. Go ahead, Jelena, and tell us a little bit about how you became involved in this show.
Right. I became involved in the pageantry way back year 2000. And then that has to stop because of my domestic responsibilities, because I got children. Then it came back way in the year 2005, which I have got the Mrs. Aguman Kapampangan Philippines. Then after that, I said to myself, okay, that's enough, no more. But the call of pageantry is just too strong. So I continue up to 2006, the next year. Then in 2006, I was given a title of Mrs. Mindanao at the Mrs. Philippines International UK. Then after that, in 2008, I was appointed by the Philippines to represent the country to the Mrs. Earth beauty pageant in Boston. And I got top 7 in that pageant.
That's awesome. And you're looking amazing as well. And I really do appreciate that you've taken the time to wear your costume for us. That's absolutely amazing. You're dressed for us. And I'm sure you would agree, Josh.
Yeah, and I love the sash representing the cities that you guys are from. And it's so nice to hear that you've been pursuing that over the years, and even in the UK, even away from the Philippines, you're still representing the city of Taguig, and also for CJ representing the city of Baguio. Really lovely cities. I love Baguio, the weather. So we talk about being in the UK and promoting your advocacies. How challenging it is, like in this generation and in this year and age, how challenging it is to push for your advocacies, let's say without the pageantry.
It is challenging. Do you want me to do first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's challenging in a way that because of the Philippines the Filipino people were all over the UK, somewhere in the north, somewhere in the south. It is more of we have to be very focused in get involved in the social media and try
Mm-hmm.
to give our message through the social media. But the thing is, if the people were active on it, then we can get through to it. But if not, then that's where the downside of it. But the positive side of it is the Filipino become more close together because of us doing our advocacy. And this is ongoing at the moment. And it's really becomes like an institution to all of us because wherever we go, Filipinos are very caring people, and we really have to look after ourselves here in a different country, and that's what really matters.
Completely right. I completely agree with you. And as you know, I'm a passionate supporter of social media as well. I've been on Facebook now for probably close to 2 decades, about a year after Facebook first started. And I've used it not only to promote the country, but also in times of adversity. If you remember before we had the Typhoon Ondai, Typhoon Haiyan, where there was people even stuck on top of roofs, and I was able to put messages out. If you're in this place, these people need a boat. And a lot of us did similar things. And then, of course, fundraising as well, which is so important. CJ, how has social media influenced you? And can you tell me a little bit about your journey as well, please?
Yeah, so hi everyone. To be honest with you, this is actually my first live beauty pageant. And
Wow.
back in the Philippines, I never really imagined that I'm going to be part of a beauty pageant. I'm just one of the girls who just watch the ladies who are on stage and just admiring how they walk, the way they dress up, and so on. But it's not really my cup of tea back then. And then I able to join this competition because Miss Julie Knowles approached me because she believes that I deserve to have a spot in this competition. And she said that the focus really is more on our advocacy. So they're not just only looking for someone who has a beautiful face or someone who can do the catwalk, but they're looking for a woman who will be a role model, not only for women, but for everyone. So that's the main reason why I said yes to Mrs. Julie Knowles. And when it comes to social media, I'd say that we are very lucky to have social media, especially that we experience this unprecedented pandemic. Because through social media, we are able to connect with people who are not close to us or who are, sorry, someone popped. I'm in the
No
party
worries.
actually.
Oh, wow. Really? Oh, my
I'm in a
gosh.
kid's birthday
No,
party.
how lovely. Oh, no, thank you for taking the time out. You know, we really, really do appreciate it. In spite of where
Yeah.
you are, you know, you've still made the effort, and that's really awesome. Of course, we're in the Philippine
Yeah.
Independence weekend, if you like, so a lot of people are in this party atmosphere. I just kept on eating yesterday. I put on
Yeah.
too much weight, but there you are. It was fun. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. So going back that, so we are able to connect with our loved ones and the people who are trying to help, communicate with, or reconnect. And with my advocacy, which is the fight against malnutrition, I still able to do achieve some of my goals, which is to decrease the number of children who are suffering from malnutrition by closely working with the municipality of Kapangan because they are my beneficiaries for Mrs. Philippines Eurasia. So by just talking to them continuously with social media and asking help, raising awareness uh, through social media, I was able to come up with some funds and able to send it to the Philippines and do some feeding program and give them additional milk, which is good for their nutrition. So that's it.
That's amazing. I did a video about 10 years ago on YouTube, which I believe was a little help can lead to a big change. I can't exactly remember the title, but what it was that I said foreigners, when we go over to the Philippines, even if we just go to the grocery store. So I went to the grocery store, I bought some vitamins, I bought some fruit, I bought some noodles and so on, and I distributed it to some of the street kids. And And, I think if everyone who visits the Philippines or is everyone involved in the country does their own little bit, I don't think we can make a massive difference in terms of internationally, but I think we can help to make the Philippines a better place. And I do believe that's a social responsibility and advocacy of everyone who visits the country. And Josh, I'm sure you'd agree.
Definitely agree with you on that, Mal. It's a big fight. Like the fight against malnutrition it's not just isolated in one area, but it's rampant across all regions in the Philippines, and not just in the Philippines. And it's good to know and see that there's a voice through CJ as well. Like in terms of challenges, what do you feel are the challenges right now in really more of magnifying the voice, the call to really help people, especially the kids, to fight malnutrition? What are the things that you've seen that one of you, or you as one of the let's say advocates of fighting against malnutrition, as the biggest challenge so far?
Okay,
Yes.
let's ask to Julie that question, actually, because I would really like to hear from both of you. Are really very much part of this pageant, this competition, and what is the what is sorry, not Julie, Jelena, sorry. What is your take on all of this?
Right. My take on malnutrition is because of number one is the poverty.
Mhm.
It's not why we have poverty in the Philippines. It's because of we have so many population, and that really constitute on that because the government is not able to cover the responsibility to give better health and better funding for people who really need it most. First is poverty is because there's no job in the Philippines. And that is the main problem. Because there's no job, the children hasn't got enough, nutrients and food that they're supposed to take. And that goes hand in the hand with the next generation. The best thing to beat poverty is really have to be very conscious in how the way we form our families. You know,
Completely right. And I think it's also about, as everybody knows, and I don't want to get too much into religion or politics or anything like that, but as everyone knows, the country is predominantly Catholic. I believe more than 80% of all Filipinos are Catholic. And we still have, after many, many years, this issue of the reproductive health and birth
Yeah.
control and everything else. And I understand historically, I think mothers were wanted, or parents want their children to go abroad, want their children to better their lives so they can work overseas. So I suppose if you had one child and God forbid that child died, basically you didn't have that opportunity. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, what was happening was parents were having a lot of children so that they will be taken care of when they get older. But of course, if every family has maybe 3, 4, 5 children, then of course the population's rising. I remember back where the 7th billionth baby in the world was actually born in the Philippines. And I know something was made of that as well. And I know it's a real issue, but you're right. I think to say there's no jobs, I think there are opportunities, but I think it's incredibly difficult. I think there's an element of luck there as well. And the fact is, when you have 110 million people, not everyone is going to have a job and not everyone's going to get so lucky. I'm sure you would agree, Jelena.
yes, definitely. And that is always the problem. I haven't got anything against about the religion that we have because I am a Christian too. But the thing is, there's something that we should know that in our religion, we shouldn't look at it as we just have to multiply and multiply, but we have to think of it in a wider perspective. If you will keep on multiplying, you will have a problem, isn't it?
That's the reality of the situation, but I don't blame individuals. It's a lot about education, it's a lot about poverty, it's a lot about opportunity. It's so multifactorial, really. And I hope there is a change, and I don't know if there will be. And a lot of it maybe is education. I think a lot of it is about understanding. So I think it's very easy to keep on throwing money at a situation. But I also think what's very important is education. education, is understanding, is reaching the barangays, is reaching the very remote parts of the Philippines in that education, and maybe doing something, for example, like Tondo is very, very overpopulated. I know in China they went to the one baby per family. I'm not saying we should do that. Of course, the Philippines is not a communist state. Of course, it's not. But I think this is an issue of concern, because the population is going to keep on rising, and it's going to become more of a problem. You know, again, it's quite interesting we're having this conversation. Normally, it's not such a deep topic, so I'm very, very grateful to you. I really, really am. But it's something that's close to my heart, because I believe it is really a rising problem. Look at the vaccines. You know, the government would have to buy 200 million vaccines to vaccinate everyone in the population. That doesn't come cheap. That comes at a price. If
Yes.
you give a social amoration of £30 per family, times that by 100 million, and times that by 4 times a year, and you can understand why it's a real issue. I'm sure, Jelena, you can understand the issues as well.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
anyway, going on to CJ, can you tell us a little bit more about your kind of advocacy, if you like, and what your thoughts are on our heated debate that we don't normally have? Not heated, but, you know, an interesting debate, which I think is quite good to do.
Yes, so my advocacy focus on fight against malnutrition in school children in Kapampangan and Benguet. So, at this unprecedented time during this pandemic, the main people who really been targeted are the poor people. Just like you said, Angelina mentioned before, that the poorest of the poor become even more poor. They don't have the opportunity to earn money and to buy food for the family. And I've been watching different programs in the Philippines, checking what's going on, and I can see a lot of people who are suffering from malnutrition and who are hungry most of the time, that they don't have anything to feed their family just because they don't have the chance or the opportunity to even give a better life for their family, even they are trying their best. So just like you said, it's also about education. And with proper education and proper help from the government and other non-government organization, I think we can make a big difference. And as for me po, as an individual who's fighting for malnutrition, I'm trying my best to decrease the number of children who are suffering in malnutrition in every way that I can po. So when I joined in this competition, I actually celebrated my 30th birthday last year. I was lucky enough to really have my party before the lockdown. So praise the Lord. Yeah, so I asked my family and friends who attended my birthday party that instead of giving gifts for me, material things which I don't really need, why don't they just donate for my chosen charity, which is the children who are suffering from malnutrition? And we are able to raise fund for their feeding program, and it was donated to the municipality of Kapangan. And after that, I came up with another plan together with my family and friends in the Philippines, because we also brainstorm. I asked their opinion, like what's your idea, what are the other things that I can do to help these children. And we came up with giving them additional nutritional support in the diet, which is I'm not gonna mention the brand name of that milk, but it has all the content needed for their nutrition to fight malnutrition. And yes, if given the opportunity to uh, accumulate more funds, hopefully I'll be able to help more children. And once I'm able to decrease, if not decrease, at least eliminate malnutrition in Kapangan, then I can move to another region or another place.
Nice. That's really love to hear. I really love hearing the conversation earlier. It kind of gave a lot of context into the overpopulation. Is it really a problem, or is it something that is a resource that we can tap into? Just imagine over 100 million Filipinos are getting, let's say, paying taxes. Like we're seeing that in the near future, where we see a lot of Filipinos getting jobs, and that will definitely help. And a lot of Filipinos abroad as well, through your advocacies and through you guys as the voices, will definitely be able to fight the malnutrition and the poverty as well. Now, before we jump into the next set of adverts, I'd like to check with CJ and Jelena on how people can reach you and what more can they hear from you. What's your media of what's your social media pages where people could reach you at?
Right. My social media is Jolina Loftus, which is my real name. You can see me on Facebook. I got only one account there, and I am on Instagram, which is Jolly Jolina, if I will remember. But I'm more active in Facebook. I'm very easy to reach. Just send me a message, and I'll respond to you.
Awesome. How about CJ?
Yes, I have my Facebook page, which is CJ Lidl. But actually, you can contact me with my Facebook page, which is Likha by CJ Lidl, because I'm actually an artist. So I try to do and introduce Filipino culture and tradition here in UK through my digital artworks. So I design it and then I printed it in different forms and products. And after selling them, I use the profit for different charities that I help, such as Cancer Research UK, World Wildlife Fund, UNICEF, and other charity works that I'm doing in the Philippines po. And social media, that will be in Instagram, which is at mommycj_babycj po.
Thank you so much. It's been really awesome meeting you. We're going to let you go ahead now and enjoy the party. I'm sorry to have taken up so much of your time, but thank you so much. Please give my best wishes to everybody. We're going to take a break right now and come back with our adverts, but after that, we're going to speak to Jelena. Thanks so much. See you soon.
Okay.
Hey everyone, be sure to watch Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlon, a close friend of mine, and I'm sure this show is gonna be great. I can't wait to guest on it myself, so be sure to watch and subscribe, and always like every video and hit the bell notification so you guys don't miss a video. Peace out.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Spoon and rice, this is really, as I've said, the most authentic place to come for Filipino street food, spoon and rice.
Thanks so much again for watching Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlon. We're going to go ahead and we're going to speak to Julina right now. But before we do, Josh, I just wanted to kind of just thank everyone today for taking part in the show. And to Julina, you look absolutely amazing in your gown as well. And I hope to be able to meet you personally later on next month. That would be absolutely awesome. It's been a very interesting discussion. We don't normally get so deep, but I'm very pleased that we have. How is Taguig compared to other parts of the Manila, other parts of the Philippines, and what's happening right now in Taguig? Can you update us, please?
Right. Taguig is before Taguig way back in 70s and 80s. We are not even known to the Philippines because it was all rice fields, yes? And we were regarded as just a second class town. But since Captain Tinga came over, or Mayor Tinga came over, it become to sprawl. The economy start to develop because Mayor Tinga has fought for the rights of the land against Makati. And we won the case against Makati. And that's when the start of the business become very, very prominent. And all the business now from Makati, usually they're investing now in Taguig because Taguig is doing well when it comes to finances and all the business which is being input there. So that's the start of our town Taguig to get better when it comes to finances. And now we are second in the economy in the Philippines. First is Makati, and then Taguig. And I'm very happy with the results because it was so far from before. If you will look at Taguig in 70s and 80s, you won't recognize it. It's all like hills and mountains and paddy fields. Where in the paddy fields, that's where I used to play.
Wow.
You know the global city? That is paddy fields. They just flatten it. And
It's incredible now. It's one of the only places in the country that's actually got traffic lights, right?
Yeah. And I was so amazed when I went there first, 2005, that I guess, is this the playground that we have? You know, we used to pick a watermelon in the fields there and chase birds. And now it's all city. I guess
It's so different.
yes, and it really it turned around 160%. And I'm
I
so
can
happy.
definitely relate to that. Yeah, because I was there back the first time I visited BGC was back in 2007, and it was so different back then. 5 years and 10 years right after that, it has completely transformed into, I can say, one of the. It feels like a first world country whenever you go to BGC, and I think just to add to that, Mal, and also to Julina's point, that there's a lot of transformation going on, not just in Taguig, but also around the Philippines. You can see a lot of major cities transforming from what it used to be 10 years ago or 15 years ago. And so good to see that it's changing. It's a changing landscape across the Philippines.
Of course, the Cayetano family are very much involved there now. I believe the current mayor is Lino Cayetano. Is that right?
Yes. It will do well. And, you know, when it comes to vaccination, Taguig is very upfront of it. And we are almost getting there to cover the whole population of Taguig. And that's a good job for our mayor. And there will be so many projects in our town. We are focusing more on our health in Taguig,
which is awesome. Well, my greetings, of course, to the Cayetano family and to everyone, and of course to Mayor Freddie Tinga. Before we end today, would you like to greet anybody too and invite people to watch the pageant as well?
Yes, I would like to invite all my friends, my followers, my family to watch us on the July 31st in Lancaster Grand Theatre. That is our final nights in this beauty pageant. And I'm so excited that finally it will gonna be shown to the public.
Wow. And again, you look amazing, Jelena. I'm really looking forward to this pageant as well. You're such an eloquent speaker as well. And I know you'll raise some very important issues in the Philippines. And I'd like to thank you for that. And I'm sure Josh would do the same.
Yeah,
Would you like to
exactly.
ask my advocacy? Sorry, guys. Would you like to ask my advocacy? You haven't asked me.
Please, yes, please go ahead. Yes, we haven't covered that yet, so please go ahead.
Yes, my advocacy is first is I started my advocacy when I was 14-year-old because I'm more of a people person. I started in Vox Jubilant Tinig ng Kabataan, which we have all the projects which is free to the people of Taguig. Free bunot ngipin, free medicine, free nursery, and Santa Claus ang Bayan, which is for giving gift to the children of Taguig free. That is Christmas Eve of December. And that is
Nice.
my advocacy since when I was 14-year-old, and I'm still involved with that. And my second advocacy is keeping kids off the street in Milton Keynes and helping the homeless in Milton Keynes here in the United Kingdom. You know why I became more involved in this is I want to show the UK that I'm not only helping my country, I have to look the feeling. I have to give the gratitude, that feeling of gratitude, to my adopted country, which is the UK, and I want to put them both in the spotlight. That I
Lovely.
am fair in both worlds that I live with.
This is so important as well, and I really do appreciate that. You know, I know that so many young people now have problems over cultural identity, and of course, knife crime is a big problem. I remember having this message from you before, and I really do admire your advocacy, and I really do thank you for highlighting that. I've been to Milton Keynes a few times. I went there for the fiesta there, and of course, I do love the area, but I think like all cities, if you like, they have their own problems, and I think it's the opportunities for young people as well. I know I was a governor of a group of schools in the UK, and I think going back a few years ago, the government had this fund, if you like, that was to help people through sports. And I think the amount of money was £150,000, and the government decided it would be a clever way to take away that small amount of money. And, you know, the fact is that I think through sport, through youth clubs and everything else is so, so important for our young people. And I'm sure you'd very much agree, Jelena.
Yes, yes. You know why? If we will not divert the children's mind from boredom, they think of so many things, stupid things to do. Like this knife crime, because they're so bored at home, they will go out there and just do something which is so stupid, which they didn't know that is bad. And that is our advocacy, is to steer away those kids, those young adults from this crime, you know.
I think that there's an issue too, and that is that unfortunately a lot of young people, they're tempted by this get rich quick, a lot of this on Instagram, a lot of this on social media. You have a lot of these competitions where people can sing one song and become millionaires, and I think a lot of people see that, and particularly in the area of knife crime and drugs, a lot of people see their friends getting rich and driving fast cars, and I think that's one of the downsides of social media too, and I'm sure you would agree, Jelena.
Yeah. Because the social media is not all 100% true. Others are showing off, and then people think that, oh wow, that is good, that is so cool. But they didn't know that they are losing their identity through following the social media influence.
Completely right. There was an influence of
our reality to ourselves and to the world around us.
There was an influencer recently who basically apparently she took a photograph of herself in business class and she posted it on his Instagram, and everyone believed she was in business class, but then somebody else took a picture of her in her real seat in economy as well, and it just shows you, you know, you can make up these stories, and that's the reason why Instagram have actually dropped the number of likes. So now they just say, I don't know, one person liked it, and in their thousands, because a lot of young people are really caught up by social media. And Joshua, I'm sure you would agree that's the same thing in the Philippines, in that sometimes social media can be a bad influence, particularly with people's mental health.
I cannot disagree with that because the Philippines is the #1 social media user across all countries. Like it may not be #1, but majority of users are from the Philippines, and it really alters the behavior, especially with Instagram. It becomes a fake reality for some, and very sad to see that people would try hard to present a reality that they want to show people.
Completely right. And I think it does lead to crime. I think it leads to drugs. I think it leads to jealousy and so many other things. So I'd really like to pay tribute to you, Jelena, for everything you're doing as well. And I'd like to thank you for making so much of an effort today. Before we finish, any final words from you?
My final words is to everyone, to young adults, because my advocacy is for young adults. My final word is be sure that you know yourself and go for that dream, whatever happens. Because if you know yourself and reach that dream, then you will be happy forever in your life here on earth.
Love
Wow.
that.
It's like we're having a pageant today. I felt like I'm kind of one of the judges within a pageant. I'm asking you these amazing questions, and I've really enjoyed today. I've really enjoyed the show. I'm sure you have as well, Josh.
Definitely. And thank you so much, Jelena, for gracing us today with your wonderful and lovely presence. I'm very excited for the Mrs. Philippines Eurasia. And for sure, Mal will be there, though I cannot be there, but I will definitely support you guys and be cheering for you and all the other candidates.
Yeah, I really would love to be there. I've got to work a few things out first, but if I can, I'd love to be present there and to cheer you guys on. In the meantime, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Josh. Thank you so much also to World Remit. Thank you for being our major sponsor and for helping us to continue this journey, as well as to Comfort Healthcare as well, and all our sponsors, in fact. Thank you very much. Josh, I'm sure we're going to say goodbye to everyone watching, and thank you.
Yeah, we will say goodbye for now, but we will see you again next week. But before we go, just really would like to thank our loyal viewers who are staying and tuned in today. Joshua Bundia, we have some other viewers from the Philippines and across the globe. We also have Drew Dealer Brojo. So just want to thank you guys for continually supporting us in the show. We will be back next week for another wonderful episode. Just before we wrap up, we just want to thank everybody for joining us, and let's celebrate the Philippine independence by being proud with Mal, what is showing being proud of being Filipino. Thank you for that.
Completely. And thank you so much to Gay and Misha as well for allowing us to use that awesome rendition of the national anthem. Thank you to Marcus Patterson as well for recording that awesome greeting for us. Thank you to our technical team. Until next week, thank you so much. Mabuhay Pilipinas.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Spoon and rice, you know, this is really, as I've said, the most authentic place to come for Filipino street food. Spoon and rice.